Good morning. Good morning, everybody. We hope you're having a wonderful day. My name is Dr. Boyce Watkins, and I want to welcome you to Pillow Talk with Dr. Boyce and Dr. Alicia Watkins. My name is Dr. Boyce Watkins. I'm here with my lovely wife, Dr. Alicia. How you doing today, babe?
Good morning. I'm trying to wake up for real. I'm trying
Yeah.
to wake up, but this topic really got me up.
Yeah. Twerking for votes. Twerking for votes. I'm gonna tell you, I'm really excited about this topic because I think there's a lot to unpack here.
A whole lot to unpack.
We're unpacking our Samsonites up in this mug.
I'm unpacking my Toomey. How about that? We're
You
gonna do
unpacking
some.
your Toomey?
We're gonna do some expensive unpacking.
You did buy me that expensive Toomey bag during our honeymoon.
Two. I bought you two, and then three. I bought you another one.
Oh,
The bag. So don't come on.
she bought me Toomey bags because I'm such a great lover.
You got to do what you can. Like,
Uh-huh. Well, good morning, everybody. If you could do us a favor, let's do some quick housekeeping. Can you guys hear us? Give us a yes in the chat if you can hear us. I see Gregory Quick is in here, Corey, Monique, Terrence Tech, Marcia, Connie, Lee Banks. How you doing? Fader Lay, Real Legit. How you doing? Just say yes in the chat if you can hear us. Okay. I want to make sure we're coming through all right. And also, feel free to shout out your city. We like to see what cities you guys are coming from. We know you're coming in from all over the world, and we want to show respect to your hood. And so, all right, let's kind of you know
look at that.
twerking. The topic for today is twerking. All right. So, first off, let me ask y'all a question. I see Noonan, Georgia, in here. How many of y'all saw that whole story? Like Marlon from Detroit. Did you see the story about the twerking senator? Tiara Mack. That's her name, Tiara Mack. How many of y'all saw the story about the twerking senator? And basically, Tiara is a lady who is a state senator out of Rhode Island, and she was twerking to, I guess, get attention for her campaign or something. It was her campaign ad.
Well, you know what? It's almost like Lizzo has made her way into politics. She's like the
Mm.
Lizzo
She's like the
of a
Lizzo.
congressman.
Ooh, the Lizzo of politics.
Yeah, that's
Ooh.
the very first thing that came to my mind.
Oh
I said, "Look
Lord.
at this, just
Wow.
no shame at all. Just put it right on
well,
out there."
why don't we let Tiara speak for herself? I have a little clip. Y'all want to see the clip? First of all, before I show the clip, though, I want to ask y'all, how many of you, as you come in, please hit the thumbs up button. Thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up, share, subscribe. Make sure you please do that. Also, just a reminder, you're watching Pillow Talk with Dr. Boyce and Dr. Alicia Watkins. And I'm a professor. My wife is a professor of social work. I'm in finance. And we like to try to have intelligent conversations about things happening in the Black community. So, first of all, let me ask y'all a question. Give me in the chat, give me a thumbs up or thumbs down. Like, what do you think about what Senator Mack did? Do you think it was a thumbs up? Do you think it was a thumbs down? Do you think it was just neutral? Like, do you just think, like, who cares? It's not a big deal. Everybody twerking these days. What do y'all think? Thumbs up or thumbs down? I'd love to hear your thoughts on that. Darlene and Eric Phelps, Eric Fields, and Chris MC. I'd be curious. I can say I'm gonna have to give it a thumbs down.
You give it a thumbs down. Okay.
Yeah, I just I
She
can't.
went too far for you.
Well, I think that there's, let's just say it like this. I heard her reference gender, right? Like I think that that's kind of what happens, unfortunately, when you have certain groups that are defined as protected classes, right? So LGBT, LGBT women's rights, and even black people. When you're seen as a protected class, it almost seems like sometimes you can excuse anything you do by saying, "Well, look at me, I'm LGBT, and the reason you're attacking me is because I'm LGBT or because I'm a woman or because I'm black." Right? Well, sometimes you're just being trifling.
You think she's being trifling?
Well, I think that just sort of, here's the deal. So she used gender. She was talking about Roe versus Wade, right? And saying the state owns my body, and I, as a woman, as a
Ah,
queer black woman, I mean, she checks all the boxes.
okay. I didn't know until recently she was a queer black woman, and so that's her protest against what's happening with legislation of women's body. Okay, so it's it's a philosophical disagreement, and she's taking it out in this way. It's art, voice.
Well,
It's like it's a expression of her outrage.
It is. Here's the thing, right? I heard her say something like, I could swear, or somebody defended her by saying, well, as a man, I take pictures with my shirt off and on the beach, and nobody gives me a problem. And I'm like, no, that's not the same. If you want to really make a parallel, if I was running, imagine this. Imagine if I was running for Senate and I pulled out my penis and I swung my penis during the campaign ad and said, I'm doing penis twerking. How would
Is
that
that
look?
a thing? Penis twerking?
I'm sure someone will come up with it at some point.
Okay.
I'm sure someone out there is already trying to start the trend because the world has we have officially become Sodom and Gomorrah. But seriously, like what if I just said, I'm gonna do some penis twerk. I'm gonna shake my junk. It don't matter if your kids are watching.
Well,
And
kids don't vote. Kids don't vote. Boy, you may get some votes. You may
well,
get.
well, I probably would.
Oh God.
No, but in all seriousness though,
Yeah.
like seriously, if and, and that's kind of that, and that's I think a valid point to kind of say, you know, like come on now, you've got to have a talent other than that.
Mhm. Mhm.
And it's almost like a clownish kind of behavior that to me it reeks of desperation, right? It can be an economic conversation, right? Because I would be willing to bet you that probably as a black woman, she probably doesn't get the funding that she'd like to have to do the things she wants to do, right? So in
Mhm.
because she doesn't have the funding, she's got to do organic things that can go viral on the internet. So sometimes if you don't have the support you need, you just say, well, let me find something really outlandish and outrageous
Mhm.
and humiliate my people, and just so I can get this attention. Like a minstrel show. And I almost feel like that's kind of what was going on here. What do you think?
Yeah, and she did talk about that. She said, "I do not get the respect that I need in Congress." So I'm not certain what her freshman year, do they call it her freshman term in Congress was like for her. And
Mm.
so she spoke
Well, she's not in
about
Congress. She's a state
she's
senator.
a state senator, so she's a congresswoman of the state.
Right.
State
Pretty much.
congresswoman.
Yeah.
So in Rhode Island, I don't know any black people in Rhode Island.
That's so
So
true.
I'm like,
You gotta be gay,
it's a
liberal.
little
Like
tiny
you gotta.
state.
If you black in Rhode Island, you gotta check all those boxes so white people will love you.
I don't
You
know.
can't be like I'm just a regular black woman with a spouse and children. It's gotta be like I'm gay, I'm liberal, I'm this, I'm that. You gotta find your allies, I guess.
Yeah. So she spoke about, because you read an article to me which piqued my interest. She spoke about how the difficult time she had in as a congresswoman, state congresswoman, in her freshman term. She talked about
Mm,
that she was up against quite a few obstacles, and so
mm,
with that, I'm thinking, gee, this poor lady. It seemed like she was doing this out of like frustration and anger, and she tried to get her point across. Apparently, she wasn't very successful in her campaign goals or what she campaigned upon. She's trying to push forth some legislation apparently, and it didn't go very far. And she was really frustrated. So
mm.
it seemed like to me, first of all, she's very talented. Who can stand on their head like that and move their body like that? Good
Well,
grief.
that is true.
That
Well,
is talent.
and maybe and perhaps she is in the wrong profession. I
Maybe
don't
she
know.
needs to.
She, well, anyone with talent like that should never be hurting for money. I'm sure there's
Yeah.
dudes that would just throw all kinds of dollar bills in her direction. Like, but anyway, okay, let's get back. All right, so by the way, you're listening to Pillow Talk with Dr. Boyce and Dr. Alicia Watkins, where we get together and try to have intelligent and fun conversations about interesting topics happening in the Black community. If you'd like to learn more and subscribe, and also get lots of free support and advice on your relationships, your finances, and everything in between, go to boyceandalicia.com. That's boyceandalicia.com. There's lots of free stuff there. So let me let Senator Mack speak for herself.
Okay. Let's
And
hear what she has to
she did
say.
achieve one goal. We are saying her name. We got her name all in our mouths, so that maybe that's the objective. But let me play this video right quick. I want you guys to kind of see what she did and kind of how she sort of responded. So here we go.
Vote Senator Mack. Do y'all really just be coming on the internet without knowing how to do a simple Google search. I'm a state senator, baby girl. The United States got nothing to do with me. Please do not hop on to the internet in 2022 as if the insurrection did not happen. Go talk to an insurrectionist. Go talk to y'all's old president. Don't come to me with this nonsense. Like, please. I don't know why I'm justifying this with a response, but LOL. I literally won my election 60% to 40%. I'm looking to get reelected. Bye.
Okay, so it sounds to me like she's what did you pick up? I mean, as a therapist, I know you can't do an armchair diagnosis like that per se, but if you're just sort of watching this and you're seeing her on social media responding to comments and criticisms, do you sense like some defensiveness there? Like what do you think she's feeling, as a result of the response and backlash?
Well, she's trying to say, I'm legitimate. I got 60% of the votes.
Mm-hmm.
When I won, and that's a pretty good landslide. So she's popular up there in Rhode Island. Let's see, maybe Rhode Island is changing.
Well,
So she's saying I got 60% of the vote. Don't tell me, and I'm sorry, that insurrection stuff, what is that? January 6th insurrection.
Mm-hmm.
Like, have you been listening to the trials?
No, not that much.
You should really tune in. I learned NPR's been playing it live. And so I just happened to be in a car listening to it. It is really incriminating evidence that they have about that insurrection. So I'm real curious to see where that's going to go. The insurrection, that was absolutely ridiculous what just happened with the insurrection. And I don't think I know I've heard you compare it to Black Lives Matter protests, but it just seemed like it was a little extra for me.
Well, here's what I don't get. What does the insurrection have to do with you twerking your booty on the beach?
She's frustrated.
Right, and I get it.
She feels like her voice hasn't been heard. She's like, I have to twerk. As a Black woman, I have to twerk in order for my voice to be heard. I have to put my body out there.
But her voice isn't being heard.
Well, I don't agree with her, but I'm saying that's what she's saying.
Michelle Obama ain't twerking. Her voice is heard. There's Black women that get heard that aren't doing that. And I think that the louder, the more twerking you have, the more Black women are going to be ignored. It's like, oh, you're a Black woman. Come on, just shake that booty, shake that ass. Like, I don't really want to hear what you have to say. I don't really respect your brain. I don't respect your perspective. And I really think that this idea of invoking the insurrection to talk about your twerking, that connection does not compute. That's like if you say, Boyce, why were you slinging your junk in front of the children? And I say, well, because Joe Biden is a terrible president. Like that ain't got nothing to do with the cost of tea in China to me.
Well, she is trying to say, now you know my name and you know who I am. So apparently she's responding to the fact that it was an uproar on the internet. And she said, now I'm going to say what I want to say. Now that I've got your attention, hello, everyone, I've got your attention. Now she's going to say, and I'm not saying that she's right about what she's doing, but I'm saying that she feels like her voice is silenced. And so she has to do these outrageous things to get everybody's attention. She has to have this gimmick to separate herself so that her voice can be heard. She felt like she was silenced. And I know as a Black woman, I know what that feels like. Like my voice has been diminished and silenced, and I've just been thrown away in some circles. And so, and it is frustrating. I'm not saying I would go and twerk and stuff or do anything like that, but that's the name of the game.
Baby, twerking is not the answer.
Twerk's not the answer.
Right. And also, let's just think about it real quick, though. What did she say that isn't already being said? She brought up the insurrection. Are liberals not talking about the insurrection? Like, is that, no, seriously, like, what else? Did she talked about Roe versus Wade?
She did talk about.
Is nobody discussing Roe versus Wade? Like, is that just some uniquely insightful comment that we don't agree with Roe versus Wade? Like, does that blow people's mind? Like, oh my God, there's a liberal who disagrees with Roe versus Wade.
Well, she wants her voice heard. She wants people to pay attention to her.
Right, and I do agree with that. I do agree she wants attention, right? But I don't think it's like I want attention. I want to bring attention to the cause by twerking. I think she's like, I want to bring attention to me.
To my voice, yeah. She was very cute, very.
Yeah. I'm gonna sing the same song that every other, Black gay liberal woman with might sing, right? The same, it's the Roe v. Wade song, it's the
Mm-hmm.
insurrection song, it's the talk to y'all's former president song, right? Like there's a lot of when I hear her speaking, it sounds like the political version of gang affiliation. It's like I'm literally going to say a bunch of things that you could probably predict would come out of my mouth anyway, because I'm grabbing all these labels, right? She says,
Mm-hmm.
as a gay black woman, as a black woman, blah, 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 right? She's grabbing these labels, and to me, there's nothing unique in there in that voice. There's nothing there that really just says, okay, I'm really different, or I'm really representing the black community in a unique way. It was
She didn't say the black community. She said the gay black community, gay
right,
female
and I think that's
black
okay. I
community.
think
That's
you
what
know what,
she's saying.
and I think the gay female black community deserves representation like
They do.
everybody else,
Yes.
without a doubt.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but one of the challenges that I see from people who are not gay is they feel that the black family is disrupted by some of the buffoonery that is sort of being accepted and rewarded,
Mm-hmm.
in public. When you have an intelligent black woman who's got to go twerk in order to get white people to love her, that doesn't make a lot of black people feel very good about
Well,
themselves.
I'll tell you one thing. Nobody loved her, right? Because when you were reading that article to me, I noticed that the Republicans and the Democrats alike both said what she did was terrible and
Yeah.
outrageous. So this black woman, this black gay woman, is actually bridging the divide between Republicans and Democrats, which I never thought it was even possible.
Well,
She's actually bringing them together. Can you believe her twerking upside down actually put Democrats and Republicans on the same page on an issue? I never thought it was even possible because they are divided on everything possible. So
well,
go ahead for
well,
that.
well, by the way, you're listening to Pillow Talk with Dr. Boyce and Dr. Alicia Watkins. I'm Dr. Boyce Watkins, and I'm here with my lovely wife, Dr. Alicia Watkins. And we're talking about Senator Tiara Mack out of Rhode Island, who decided to twerk for votes. And a lot of y'all have been talking about it. A lot of y'all were asking us what our perspective was on it. And this is what we're sharing. Do us a favor. Please hit the thumbs up button. Thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up, share, subscribe. If you'd like some free stuff on how to shift your money mindset, how to have healthy relationships, we're really good at that. We're not just, we don't just have opinions. We actually have research backing all of our perspectives. So if you're interested in learning more, just go to boyceandalicia.com. The URL's on the screen. All right. So, so here's the thing, right? So I think that when I see this, I clearly saw this as a push for attention to say, what extreme thing can I do? Now, one of the things that you got to really consider as well is Senator Mack had received a lot of criticism for pushing through um, some legislation, some really heavy legislation on teaching kids about sex.
Mm-hmm.
And she wanted it to,
Mm-hmm.
them to come at it from a pleasure-based perspective and really talk to kids about sexual pleasure and things like that. And a lot of people didn't like it. A lot of people felt like it was grooming, and
Mm-hmm.
and I'm not going to get into that debate, but I will say that I don't think it's inconceivable to really say that when you're talking about people's behavior in public versus private,
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if there are scenarios where a person's sexual dysfunction or sexual addiction kind of spills out and they don't even know it because they think this is normal behavior. That she thinks that standing on her head and twerking, it's in a campaign ad is perfectly fine, perfectly normal. But everybody else is like, "What are you doing?" And again, I compare it. Like if I was a man and I said, let me just pull my junk out so everybody can see my junk," people would be like, "Boys, that's abnormal behavior." And it makes me wonder, if there's a conversation to be had there to say, like, are you really displaying some kind of mental illness that people have already accused you of having? They've accused you of
Mm-hmm.
targeting kids in a way that's inappropriate. They've accused her of that, right? And now you are doing things that doesn't really serve to show yourself as a balanced human being. You don't even understand why people think that the twerking is kind of strange. And again, if it were a man, this again to see my point, I want everybody to imagine if it was a man who said, "I'm gonna pull my junk out in my campaign ad and shake and wiggle my junk." That would be you'd be like R. Kelly. They'd be trying to lock you up like Bill Cosby, What do you think?
Wait, lock you up by Bill Cosby?
No, if a man pulls out, like, think about
I
that.
don't know. I mean,
There was a comedian
R.
that,
Kelly and Bill. I don't know if you're on that R. Kelly Bill Cosby
well,
level.
remember though, there was that one comedian, C.K. Lewis, who pulled his stuff out, with some women. It wasn't. I don't think there's any proof. I think there was just like they just said he pulled his stuff out, and next thing you know, he was getting canceled and things like that, right? So to me, it's kind of like when I see somebody twerking, I'm like, okay,
I see what
you're
you
pulling
mean.
your stuff out. You basically pulling your junk out. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, I see what you mean, but I mean, it's just weird how people judge. Like people in Congress, it to me that's always strange when they start judging other people's behavior because nobody's more outrageous than what congressmen do behind closed doors. So here they are judging her, but his history has seen very interesting examples of how Congress people can do really bizarre things behind closed door. So they're judging her for things that they do behind closed doors to me. Like some of the decisions that they make, some of the you declare war. When you declare war on another country, you're basically killing children and mothers and all these other things. And so for your own interest. So I mean, where do we draw the morality line? She hasn't hurt. I mean, I wouldn't promote, I wouldn't suggest anybody doing that. I'm not, but I don't want to judge it. Just as um, there are a lot of things that we vote for as a country that politicians vote for, Democrats and Republicans. So I don't think the Democrats and Republicans can take a moral high road when it comes to what's right and wrong in this country, personally.
Well, let me just say this. I think that we should take a moment of silence and just really just kind of show some basic appreciation for how hard it is to stand on your head and twerk at
That's
the
what I
same time.
said. She's got
I mean,
something.
that's really, I mean, I'm like, you got to practice. So that means she's at home practicing all the time. Like, I mean, really, you can't just be like, oh, I'm running for Congress or something or whatever,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna just pick up a new skill over the weekend. Like, this takes a lot of training. You got
Yeah.
to take a class to do that. I just want to stop and just kind of process that for a moment. How hard that
Yeah.
is.
Yeah, it is. And the thing is that I thought I heard you read that she graduated from Brown. She's an Ivy League graduate, so she's extremely intelligent. So the fact that she has to go to such length,
Mm.
it just tells you my intelligence got me nowhere. So I'm just going to do this.
Well, I think that,
You know,
well, intelligence will get you somewhere. It just may not. It
she
just
feels
may not.
like it didn't.
Intelligence will get you somewhere. It just may not get you everywhere you want to go.
Okay.
Like, so like my intelligence, your intelligence, it got us somewhere, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I'm sure I could have gone further if I was robbing and killing people, or wiggling my junk, or engaging in buffoonish behavior,
You let
right?
all
So
that go to waste, Boyce.
I know I sure did. Well, you know what?
Shame on you.
Well, let me just say this. Dr. Claude Anderson, last night during our book club meeting, we were reading Powernomics, and he talked about inappropriate behavior from Black public figures.
Mm-hmm.
He talked about the fact that the Black community does struggle because we have no standards. We have, in his mind, he says, where are the standards? Where is it when you hold people accountable and kind of say, this ain't cool. You can't be doing this.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, let me read some of what Senator Mack has to say. She wrote an article in Newsweek. She says, I'm a Rhode Island state senator. I was elected in 2020 for a 2-year term. I am a formerly low-income queer Black woman, and I stand for justice and liberation, particularly highlighting the experiences of Black and brown people in the U.S. Okay. So that's when she's grabbing all the labels. Our session ended at the end of June a few weeks ago, so I took some time off and just recently launched my campaign for re-election. July 4th in the U.S. is a paid day off for many working people, and many people like myself take that time to have barbecues or go to the beach.
Mm-hmm.
This year, I went to Block Island, Rhode Island, with a small group of friends. Around a week ago, I started my official Senator TikTok page. It is a fun, lighthearted account similar to my other accounts. I post funny tweets and silly Instagram posts as well. I'm consistent with my behavior across all platforms, and that includes the TikTok video I posted on the beach that day. The alt-right and some of the GOP in Rhode Island and the U.S. at large have attacked me on social media for promoting comprehensive, queer, inclusive, and age-appropriate sex education. Even before the TikTok video I posted, some on the right have tried to paint me as a groomer for the work I have done fighting to protect young people from sexual assault and abuse by advocating for a comprehensive sex education curriculum. Well, that's the thing, though. I read some of the other perspectives on it, and some people felt like it was inappropriate for children. Then I think that she wants to really get into sexual pleasure, and not that
she didn't say that in her.
She didn't say.
Thing.
Of course, she doesn't.
She didn't say that. So
of course, she's not going to say it. But I'm going to read to you in a little bit what other people have said about her legend. It wasn't like, oh, it's comprehensive and it's healthy and it's good. No, people were like, okay, this is some ratchet stuff. That's how some people.
Oh, really? Yeah, I will say there are some curriculum out there that teaches children really age appropriate ways to say what's inappropriate touch. What's appropriate touch. I have seen some curriculum that seem to be pretty interesting. What else does she say?
She says, as a queer Black woman, again, she's grabbing labels for protection. I am used to this treatment. It doesn't make it okay, but I realize there are separate rules in society for me. I don't think there's separate rules. I don't know. How many of y'all
separate rules? So she's talking about how she's been discriminated against.
Right.
Okay.
But which I mean, and she's responding to the twerking incident. So I want to ask everybody in the chat. I don't know how many of you are queer Black women, but just so you know, everybody's welcome in this platform. We do not discriminate against anybody. But how many of you feel that if you did what Senator Mack did, that it would be cool? Or do you think people would have a problem with it? She says the rules are different. Like, because I'm a queer Black woman, I can't stand on my head and shake my booty in a campaign ad and without people going off on me. How many of you think that if you did the same thing, people would probably have an issue with it? Starting with your mama. Your mama will be on the phone like, what are you doing?
Yeah, I mean, Boyce, I'm being devil's advocate. I absolutely hear what you're saying. I like to see Black women get into politics because I really do think the world would be a better place if we were running the show more often. I would love to see that. And so I would love to have someone in politics, like a Michelle Obama, by the way, who my children can look up to in terms of image, in terms of just what she represents, in terms of how she carries herself. She's stellar. She and Barack Obama and a lot of the Black women in Congress, let's just delete ourselves from the type of legislation that they push and party lines and everything. But if you look at them and you hear them talk and you see what they're about, they are respectable. And you really do want to have that sort of image. You want your children to see that image and to have somebody to look up to. And definitely twerking upside down is not the thing that you would like for people to see. Mm-hmm. Okay. So in terms of the image and in terms of setting a good example, she hasn't been doing that. And so, but she is saying that I don't get respect anyway. You know, these people don't respect me. My voice isn't heard. I'm very frustrated here. And so I'm just going to do this and be my lighthearted self. She's not going to separate herself professionally and personally. She's going to blend those two lines, which I feel like it should be separated. Like, my professional self when I'm a college professor is not going to be the same person that I am when I'm a mom, you know, and so that separation needs to be there. But she's not separating. She's blurring that line. She's on vacation and she is just going to let it all rip and make that part of her campaign.
Okay, I get that for sure. You know, but I one thing I'll throw in there though is I think we got to be real careful about identity politics. You know, we got to be real careful about saying, I want to see more Black women in office, or I want to see more Black men in office. You know, I want to see, you know, respectable.
I said it's just great in terms of the image.
I think it is good, but remember, white people control those images. Right. White people decide which Black people are going to be on TV.
I absolutely agree with you.
So if I was able to pick the Black people that got the most attention, I wouldn't pick a Black woman like this. I would pick a Black woman like Queen Afua, who is interested in the healing of Black people, who wants Black people to win, who wants Black people to live and survive and have healthy families. That's what I would pick. I would not, you know, and the thing is that what politicians do and what America does and what media does is they handpick the Black folks that fit who they think Black people need to be. So they'll go grab, so they'll look over and they'll say, okay, we got a guy like a Dr. Boyce Watkins who's going to speak intelligent about racism and economics and all the things that'll make Black people better. Or we can go grab Young Thug or some rapper that that represents like a whole different type of culture. And I don't want to use Young Thug as an example because he's going through a hard time. But let's switch it up. Lil Yachty or somebody who's a drug addict, from what I understand. A guy who isn't gonna represent black men in a light that does anything other than puts them in prison. And I think that we got to kind of be careful because sometimes they only invite black people in the room when they're trying to have a circus.
Absolutely. So, I mean, what I said was image, just how you carry yourself and the things that you do. I'm not talking about, I totally agree with the handpicked and all of that. What you going to do? It's their agenda. It's their country. They think it's their country. It's their agenda. And if you're not on the agenda, you get the red light. And if you're on the agenda, you get the green light. However, I don't know if we'll see how many votes she gets and how well she does in her whenever her election comes up.
Well,
we'll see.
Well, I'll tell you what. I think people can do whatever they want to do. I do think at the same time, and she's young. She's 28 years old. So she like it's interesting. I think that because you and I have been on college campuses for so long, I can really almost like predict in advance what people are going to say based on how they were educated and what their background is. So the fact that she went to Brown and she's on the left, I already know how she's gonna feel about a lot of political issues. Like I know which boxes she's gonna check on, with a pretty high accuracy. And what I think black folks have to understand is that college campuses aren't just places where people get educated. They are also places where people get indoctrinated.
Yeah. And they're not apologetic about it. I mean, they're just like, come to us. Like even I gotta agree with that because I'm a social work professor and we're very deliberate. We're saying if you want to be a social worker, you have to indoctrinate yourself into this. It is an indoctrination that happens very quickly for our profession because we believe you shouldn't be judgmental of other people because if you are, you cannot help them. So we believe in, we push human rights, the human dignity of the person. So we have values, guiding values. And if students can't get on board with our values, they can't be a social worker. And I like that personally.
Yeah.
So there's certain things that we, proclaim. So I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
I think it's okay to have your perspective. I don't like the tyranny or oppression of other perspectives. Like I don't like it when the same way I'll hear liberals say, well, you shouldn't fat shame or you shouldn't slut shame. Well, I don't think you should shame people based on their political position. I saw a lot of people shaming. I have a lot of black friends that are liberal and a lot of black friends that are conservative. I really didn't see my conservative friends attacking my liberal friends for being liberal. But I saw a lot of my liberal friends attacking my conservative friends for being conservative. And I think that's wrong because black people need our own solutions to things. When you start getting into those, like, I'm going to check every liberal box known to man, and I think I'm helping the black community, you're not really helping the black community. You're just helping the racists that happen to be in the Democratic Party. I think that to me, an intelligent black person can grab solutions on the right and some solutions on the left and some solutions in the middle. We shouldn't be, she might not be controlled by the state. She repeatedly mentions that her body's not owned by the state, but her mind is owned by the Democratic Party. And a lot of black folks have been kidnapped in that way. But let me say this. I read her bio. You want to hear about her bio?
Well, I wanted you to read that article, but you go on to something else.
I'm gonna find it. I'm gonna find it, I promise.
Okay.
But by the way, she was on the rugby team. I thought that was interesting. Oh, also, if you look at our Wikipedia page, there's a mention of her mother and her family struggling financially.
Yeah, she said I was poor.
Right, but there's no mention of the father, which is very common in situations like this. A lot of times when you see this, this very anti-patriarchy kind of mindset, it's usually, unfortunately, from a lot of young people who did not have a dad. So they just kind of, it's almost like I wonder, and maybe you can help me with this, but I wonder, like, what's that effect, when you grow up and your father wasn't there or your father disappointed you. And you like Jamel Hill. When I read Jamel Hill's political opinions. I
Mm-hmm.
said, I bet you every nickel in my bank account that she had a really tough relationship with her father.
Wait, so are
And
you saying all liberals don't have a father?
no, I did not say all
Oh,
liberals.
okay.
I did
I
not say
was
that.
curious
No,
about that. Like, what?
I would never say that. I would never say.
Okay.
What I'm saying is that
Uh-huh.
when you get this sort of very angry young black woman who's just aligning with a lot of these high left, very leftist ideas, anti-patriarchy, whatever, that a lot of times it comes with a complicated relationship with their dad. Like Jamel Hill, I predicted it. I wrote on Twitter when Jamel Hill started
Uh-huh.
expressing her points of view. I said, I bet you she doesn't have a good relationship with her father.
Does
And
she?
then yeah, I looked up an article and she said, I met my father for the first time when I was blah 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 years old, and he'd just gotten over his heroin addiction. I said, boom, there you go. Your
Mm-hmm.
dad disappointed you, so you've been pissed off at men ever since. I really
Wow.
believe it.
Okay, so you reduced all of that
Well,
to
it's
to
not
the
reducing it. It's a fact.
uh-huh.
I know it's in my own family. My father was a terrible person in terms of how he treated all of his children. And
Mm-hmm.
my sister, who I met for the first time, is just like Tiara Mack. It's very. I mean, she would probably read everything Tiara Mack says and check every box.
Uh-huh.
And I would argue that it comes from the fact that when we were young, my
Mm-hmm.
dad was not there for them. Now I had a stepfather. I was raised in a different household, but she, you know, there were
So
no.
you're saying that not only disappointed, I think you're saying abandoned. They have these abandonment issues. Maybe they
um
were just abandoned and left,
maybe not
not to
abandoned,
feel.
maybe not abandoned, but
Uh-huh.
I just think about it like this. I say, what if my mother was never there for me? My mother was on crack, and
Yeah.
I just,
I can't imagine if either one of my parents weren't there for me.
yeah,
That would
right.
be pretty bad.
Right. If
Mm-hmm.
I had, if I had no respect for my mom and just thought my mom was a piece of crap, there's no way I could have an experience like that and have a healthy relationship with women.
Mm-hmm.
Your mother is, if you're a boy, your mother's is your first girlfriend. If you're a girl, your father is your first boyfriend.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I couldn't imagine. Yeah, I couldn't imagine where I'd be and how I would operate if I didn't have a good, healthy relationship with my parents growing up.
Yeah. So
Uh-huh.
Tiara Mack, I'm trying to find the article that you were
Can you find it?
I can't find, me. I go through the internet, but yeah, so what do you guys think? I mean, do you think that there is room, maybe we're just getting old. Like maybe like
Yeah,
we
I don't want to be like she's 28. She's the voice of I don't know whatever generation that is.
well, she's the voice of her segment of that
Her
generation.
segment of that generation, and it's a voice that I would say that segment has been oppressed.
Hmm.
I don't want to not validate her experiences, and so I think it has been it's been a tough road. It's a tough road for black women, and to be poor, and to be gay.
But does that
It's
mean
just
you got to twerk on
awful.
TikTok?
No, it doesn't mean that you have to twerk on TikTok, but it means that that's what she did. And
Hmm.
so she felt that she needed to do that. And it was just out of, she couldn't believe that this happened. She finished her first term. She had some frustrations. She did felt oppressed in her position, her freshman term. And she's with some friends. She probably had a little too much to drink. And she was like, I'm standing on my head and I'm twerking upside down to just demonstrate my outrage. It's my body, it's my choice, and I'm going to do what I want with it. That's what she's saying. I'm not saying I agree with it. I'm saying I think I understand where she's coming from.
Well, I do agree that I'll tell
You
you what,
know?
I do agree that you have the right to do what you want with your body. And I think that my position, which no one has to agree with, is that, once a man's baby is in your body, it's not just your body anymore. And I think, and because what you do with your body affects other people's bodies. It's just like when they talk about men who cheat on their wives and bring home a disease, and he could say, well, it's my body, my choice. Well, no, what you do with your body affects her body. So
Mhm.
it ain't just your choice. Other people are involved now. So you can't make a decision in a vacuum anymore. And I think that this is a part of the complication of some of what we've been seeing lately. So let me here. I found the article.
Did you find it? Okay, go ahead.
I'm gonna read this. All right. So do me a favor, hit the thumbs up button, thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up, share, subscribe. You're watching Pillow Talk with Dr. Boyce and Dr. Alicia Watkins. My name is Dr. Boyce Watkins, and my wife Alicia is a licensed couples counselor, and she is also a full professor of social work. And her website is coachingwithdralicia.com. So if you'd like to learn more about her activities, and also you're doing speed dating in Atlanta.
Man, we just confirmed this has been in the works. Can I just say my life passion is to try to bring people together and see what happens. Let love bloom.
Well, you did speed dating last year at the All Black National Convention.
That
And
was
that went
so
really
much
well.
fun. And there were a lot of people that got together, by the way.
Yeah,
but
they did. The hookup lady.
The hookup. I'm trying to hook people up. But we just confirmed it's been in the works for several months. And I just got a space. I just confirmed with my team, my new team together. Boys, I got a team now.
Look at you.
I feel like I have made it.
You like the new Kobe Bryant.
The new Kobe Bryant on the spot.
Very
Slam
nice.
dunk it. So we just confirmed like hours ago that this is what we are actually doing. It. We are actually having speed dating in person. And I know the benefits of doing it virtually and online, but there's something with seeing somebody face to face and looking at them, sizing them up, seeing how they walk, how they talk, how they interact that you can't capture virtually. And so it is a small group. We're starting small. So it is a real small, intimate sort of setting. And you'll be able to just go on these many dates with a potential person, and I'm gonna be standing there watching.
Yeah, I know that gets you excited.
It does.
So by the way, so if you want to join Dr. Alicia at one of her speed dating events, we're gonna do it at the All Black National Convention for sure. So make sure you get your tickets. That's gonna be October 28th through the 30th. We did it last year. It was very successful. If you go to boycewatkins.com and you can check out the convention and some of the other things going on. And also, if you get a free e-copy of my book, you'll be on the email list. And I will email everybody when we go to Atlanta. What's the date? July 22nd?
Friday, July 22nd, 7 p.m. sharp. And it's at the Legacy Center, the Black House.
Yeah, of course. Jay Morrison
and Ernestine Morrison.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I'm super excited. Yeah. So if you're into that kind of thing, or if you are B1 and you're looking to meet quality B1 people, then feel free to join us in Atlanta. And also I'd love to see if we can pull off digital speed dating, bring people together on a Zoom meeting, and you can do your matchmaking thing. I know that that's exciting for you. So
it's exciting too, but in person is also exciting.
It is. So as Snoop Dogg said back in the day, back to the lecture at hand. All right, so let me play this video again, and then I'm gonna read a little bit more of the article about Tiara Mack, the Twerking Senator. That's our topic for today. So I'm gonna play the video for those of you that didn't see it earlier. So here we go.
Vote Senator Mack. Do y'all really just be coming on the internet without knowing how to do a simple Google search? I'm a state senator, baby girl. The United States got nothing to do with me. Please do not hop on to the internet in 2022 as if the insurrection did not happen. Go talk to an insurrectionist. Go talk to y'all's old president. Don't come to me with this nonsense. Like, please. I don't know why I'm justifying this with a response, but LOL. I literally won my election 60% to 40%. I'm looking to get reelected. Bye.
Okay. So
there's something not coming together for her.
Well, you know what? I'll tell you what. Let me read.
There's something amiss in that.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
What do you mean something amiss? What do you mean?
There's something in her speech, in her gait, in her LOL. I don't know. Something's not coming together for me.
Really?
When it comes to her,
I just wonder. What are you picking up on?
I wonder if there's a little bit of a mental issue there.
Okay. Yeah, I definitely agree with that.
Yeah. Anyway, go ahead.
So let's see here. So according to the New York Post, they said she's twerking overtime for your votes. A Rhode Island state senator is getting ridiculed for posting a campaign video of her twerking upside down in a barely there bikini. Democrat Tiara Mack, 28, used her official district TikTok page. So this is her official TikTok. On the 4th of July to post a saucy clip of her shaking her booty while in a handstand on the beach. That ass. Someone can be heard saying admiringly before Mack wearing a skimpy yellow bikini, turns to the camera and begs, "Vote Senator Mack." The state senator it advertised the clip as, quote, "a promised senator thirst trap at Block Island." Okay. It was just one she posted in the revealing outfit during her beach trip, with another asking how many nip slips she was allowed. Okay.
What's a nip slip?
Like a slip of the nipple where you
Oh my
where your titty pops out.
goodness. Okay, there we go.
Yeah. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Like somebody said, she's off. Hide your husband, hide your kids. That's funny. Okay, let's see. Somebody said, "You already have 3." One of her friends teased Mack, who describes herself as a black queer woman. Mack's twerk quickly racked up more than 70,000 views, with one admirer saying, "I need to see more politicians doing this." Tempted to move to Rhode Island just to say, "This is my senators," another fan wrote in support. Let me see here. Naysayers, however, quickly ripped her for needing to rely on a tacky stunt to get votes. Quote, "If this is what's running our country, we are in serious trouble," one commenter wrote. "If her opponent doesn't use this video, do they even want to win?" That's true. That's true. I mean, if you're the opponent, I mean, it's easy. It's a slam dunk.
Thank you.
It riles up the base for sure. Another accused her of having, quote, "set the race back years with this," while another told her, "I don't ever want to hear you complain about how women aren't respected in this country after posting this."
Yes,
that's a good point.
That is so great.
That's a good point. You're coming out booty first, and then wondering why people think you ain't about nothing but the booty.
She got no self-respect for doing that.
Right.
Absolutely.
Right. I think somebody said that, like KFC, if you're advertising a breast and a wing and a leg, then that's what people are gonna show up to want to eat. They're not gonna show up for your vegan offerings because you didn't mention that. You mentioned the breast, the thigh, and the leg, and the greasy fried chicken, and that's what people are gonna want. So I think that's important. And I remember Denzel. Remember that where Denzel was talking about that conversation he had with Harry Portier or Sidney Portier. I'm sorry, or what? Either it was a Sidney Portier or Harry.
Wait, Harry Belafonte.
One of the two. I think it was Sidney Portier.
And
he got this offer to be in a movie, and he said that he said I don't. He said he called the role. I don't think there's a title of the movie, but he called it "The Nigga Who Wouldn't Die." And that was a big role he got offered. And he called Sidney Portier and said, "I got offered this big role, but it kind of disturbs me. I don't know if I should do this." And Sidney Portier said, "Whatever role you take first, that's how people will define you for the rest of your career."
Yes, it will. It will be forever imprinted on your subconscious. Mm-hmm. Yeah. About what he's the guy that did that.
Yeah, and I don't think Denzel took the role. And here we are.
Denzel's very 30 years later picky about what role. I mean, he can be though.
Shout out to Denzel. I saw him in Fences on Broadway. Yeah,
did you?
I was in the third role. That's when I gained a real respect for his talent, because he carried the whole damn play. When he wasn't in it anymore, it's like everything just kind of went downhill.
Daggone it.
It was like the Chicago Bulls without Michael Jordan.
Yeah, but it's years and years of training, and he just understands the craft so well. Mm-hmm. And he could have easily been a sex symbol, and he did not go that route.
Yeah, and he raised his son quite well. His son
is phenomenal.
Yeah,
as an actor.
Shout out to Denzel. Can we just type the word Denzel in the chat? Give that brother his props for just carrying the torch and really,
same wife, married to the same lady the whole time,
conducting himself he's the LeBron of Hollywood in terms of just black men that just maintain that level persona, no crazy scandals, high quality work. So anyway, all right,
yeah.
So here's what. So it said Tucker Carlson poked fun at Mack's performance. Playing the clip on his Fox News show and saying sarcastically that her demonstrated talent proved that she was, quote, the next rising star of the Democratic Party.
So it takes Tucker Carlson just like, why don't you pay more attention to her? We want to see more of her.
That's so funny.
Oh my God.
We saw Tiara Mack head in the sand twerking, and we thought, man, that's the Democratic Party, he quipped. Mack was unrepentant, keeping up the clip and replying to critics, and even posting a video claiming that her twerk had been a powerful illustration of body autonomy.
Okay.
Well, she got a point there.
A body autonomy, yeah.
She got a point there. Yeah. Okay.
And I mean, it's okay if she's doing that.
Body autonomy meaning like control of your body, not like. But then again, it's interesting. It's like a double meaning. Like I can control my body because I control my body. I can
control my body. Yeah. So she's ready for whatever the consequences are for what she's done. She's proud in what she's done. She's not remorseful. She's not going to have a statement that's going to say, I'm really sorry that the young black girl who saw me do this it's appropriate to do. She's not a moral, she's not going to take the moral high road. She's going to say, this is what I did, this is what I wanted to do, and there you have it.
Okay.
So she's not sorry about it.
Oh, Sherry says, nope, her twerk was a signal that she leads with her behind and not with her mind.
Oh yeah. Oh, for sure.
That's real.
For sure.
The crux of the conversation about abortion is about body autonomy, she said. Also linking it to trans rights and intersex rights. See how she's always checking boxes and labeling herself?
Well, that's what she's about. She's
Right.
all in that.
But it's like the Democratic Party handed her a list of issues that she must agree with, and she just says, okay, whatever they want, that's what I'm going to do. So that's not autonomy to me. That means you're just being controlled by a different pimp.
Okay, I gotta say, I think she's a little outrageous even for the Democratic Party.
Yeah.
I think there are people in the Democratic Party that was like, hey, hold on. So I think she's pushing it a little. She's pushing. I don't think that she is on board with the Democratic Party with this particular stunt. I think she's off script, and I don't think they're that progressive. Because think about it. I mean, let me tell you, in my life as a black woman, I have been discriminated against and oppressed by so-called people who ascribe to the Democratic Party. Like, it's like, come on, it's hypocritical. So you call yourself a Democrat, you call yourself a liberal, but when I interact with you, I'm on the receiving end of racism and discrimination. They don't even know that they're doing it. So as far as I'm concerned, the Democratic Party and the Republican Party is just fingers on the same hand. Okay, so that's my position because I don't adhere to either party, right? I'm a Green Party person. So let's just get that clear that I don't know. I think she's falling outside of what is comfortable even for the Democratic Party.
Well, I can't disagree. And remember, there's a lot of diversity within within all the political parties, right? So you got the old school Nancy Pelosi Democrats, and then you got the younger, AOC type Democrats, right? So ultimately, I think that is incredibly true, what you just said. And I think as black people, she's used the word autonomy, right? And that's an important word, autonomy. My body, my choice. And I would also say autonomy applies to your mindset and your beliefs. And when I hear her reciting talking points of the Democratic Party, I don't see a lot of autonomy. I see a person where if she deviated on those talking points, like let's say she deviated from the Democratic Party on trans rights, or deviated from the Democratic Party on Roe versus Wade, or deviated on LGBT, or deviated on feminism, they would shame the hell out of her. They would shame the shit out of that lady.
Well, they are shaming her.
Right. Well,
she's not doing it.
Well, she's not. But
she's not doing it in the way that they think that they should do it.
But I
think she's a little out of pocket for them, even for them.
I hear that for sure, but I don't think they're shaming her. I think that they're defending her. And
no, they have been shaming her.
They'll cheer. No, there are plenty of people. There are lots of people that are cheering her on, and they're like, "Go black girl, go!" Like, like you go, girl. And anybody who says anything negative, they're just attacking you because you black and you queer, or they're body shaming you. Like they pull out all these labels. And my point is to say that the way I measure intelligence from black people I talk to is, are you simply repeating every single checkbox of a political party, or are you a person that has enough discernment to be able to jump the fence in certain areas? Like I know black Republicans who will go along with the Republican Party on some issues, and then they'll say, you know what, on this area, y'all are wrong. I don't support this. We need to do things different. Right? I respect that.
But they don't care. Do you think they really care?
Oh.
Do you think either party cares if they're the party in control? If you think the people that are really running Congress in terms of their policies, so they have, we can have a viewpoint. It's two separate things. We can have an understanding. We do believe in gay rights, but what is that going to look like in terms of policy? What is that going to translate into in terms of policy? So we believe in that everybody should be pro-choice, but everybody has a different perspective on what that looks like in terms of policy and what that should, policy and practice. People have different ideas about that. how it should be carried out. So I think that I don't know if she's on board with all of that.
Well, I don't think
Uh-huh.
that I think she's on board. If you go grab another 28-year-old liberal black queer person, she's probably going to align heavily with this perspective. Like
Maybe.
because what we have in
Mhm.
politics, in my view, for a lot of black politicians is that anything goes as long as you get white people to vote for you. And that's where I get off the bus. That's where I kind of say, come on, like, you don't understand. They like for you to be the outrageous clown. They like for you to be the one who will do things that a lot of regular people won't do. And I think that that's how we fit in. That's how, we're almost like the kid who wants to be invited to the party, so we'll do anything that everybody tells us to do so that everyone will like us
Yeah,
and
because so
let
you
us
can
stay.
have friends.
Yes,
You
so
be
you can
like,
have
here,
friends.
take everything. It's funny. I used to have like the kids would like bring their friends over and
Hmm.
they would just be like, I'm like, what are you doing? You're like killing the plants here. Why are y'all doing that? It's because they'll just do anything just so that they can have their friends.
Right, right.
And so yeah, she needs to grow up. And I think she will. She's 28.
Hmm. Yeah,
28.
yeah,
So we have to allow people to evolve. It can you imagine what you thought at 28 versus what you think now
right.
at 48?
That's
Or,
true.
I'm talking to myself here.
Hmm.
I mean, what do I think back then compared to what I think now? Like it evolves. So hopefully she will evolve.
All right. Evolution. That's what we're hoping for. Yeah, by the way, on Pillow Talk with Dr. Boyce and Dr. Alicia, you can subscribe by going to boyceandalicia.com. And also we send lots of free stuff on mindset and relationships and also how to build your wealth. So feel free to go to boyceandalicia.com. This was our topic for yesterday. We talked about whether or not you should have it's okay to have secret bank accounts. We talked about that yesterday. So feel free to subscribe and you can go take a look at some of that content. Also, I want to remind everybody that today is the big day. Today we will start the Black Wealth Boot Camp. This is my thing. I'm doing a 4-week Black Wealth Boot Camp on how to generate consistent income by selling stock options. You guys know my doctorate's in finance. I taught finance at Syracuse University for 13 years, and I love teaching my people. And so I put together a pretty powerful curriculum that will show you how to increase your income almost instantly with stock options and selling options, how to pick the right stocks, how to minimize your risk, how to make adjustments to your portfolio. I'll show you all of that. So if you're interested in joining us, we get started tonight. We're going to meet every Thursday night at 8 p.m. Eastern. You can go to boycewatkins.com. There's still a few more hours to sign up. And after that, I might not do another boot camp for quite a while. So feel free to go to boycewatkins.com if that's of interest to you. So I want to say thank you, everybody, for hanging out with us. It was real. Did you have fun, babe?
This woke me up, boy.
I know, right?
Yeah.
It was heavy, and I want
Thank
to
you,
say
Tiara. Was her name Tiara?
Tiara Mack. Hmm.
Yes, Tiara Mack.
And I know another Tiara KJ Williams, aka Miss Black Hollywood. Shout out to Tiara.
Yes.
Yeah, to the real Tiara.
She's a real
She's the
Tiara.
real Tiara. That's the second fake Tiara. But anyway, we love you guys, and if you could hit the thumbs up button, thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up, share, subscribe to the channel, share this video, and we will see you all soon. Hope you guys have a wonderful day, and we'll pop in with another pillow talk real soon. Take care.
Okay, bye everyone.